Hey, it is July 26th, 2026. It's actually our son's 12th birthday. Our 12-year-old. He turned 12 today. I just wanted to, we just made it back yesterday evening from our big, epic national park trip. This year we chose to get to the west side of our nation, all the way as far west as you can go. Well, in the continental part of the U.S., Washington, Oregon, and California. We've been trying to get to the west side for a few years. We planned a similar trip in 2025, but the COVID pandemic, wrecked that. Um, and financially, it's expensive. Um, it's a lot of miles on our minivan. Um, Now, take in mind, national parks aren't typically just off the freeway. You got to go a little bit north, a little bit south, and those miles add up. If we were to drive to Southern Cal and back to Maine, it would be about 7,000 miles. So this trip, going back and forth to all the parks, it was 99,800 and a smidgen miles. It's almost 10,000 miles. So we added an extra 3,000 miles to the trip due to going to see the parks. Gas prices. Gas was easily the second most expensive thing. Um, don't know exactly, but I'm guessing it was somewhere between 1,700 to, I don't think it was quite $2,000. Our minivan's pretty efficient. It's about 25 miles to the gallon on the freeway. Gas prices at this time, when we went, most of the states were about 3.50 to $4 a gallon. Take in mind the west side, Washington, Oregon. I think it was about five $5 a gallon, and California was really expensive. It was 5.50 to 6, and sometimes a little bit even more than $6 a gallon. Well, considering here in Maine we're in the upper threes, and California's close to 6, that's almost double the price. Oh, I want to mention something. This right here and this right here. My kids got these for me for Father's Day. And I thought it was fitting. I wore this hat all the way through. And this, I think I wore 3 times, washed it, I think 3 times on the trip. It's cool that we did this trip on the 250th anniversary of our nation. That was cool. Um, and we'll probably never do a trip this big again, this big, to this epic. I think it was the third longest trip we've ever done, but we haven't done a trip this big since our Alaska trip 11 years ago, I believe. It's just so expensive. Lori and I aren't as young as we used to be, so this takes a lot out of us. Um, so let's start. So our first park was in South Dakota, Badlands. Which one thing that's cool about Badlands is it's only 3 miles off I-90. So that was it's cool to go to a park that was just off the highway. That's by far one of our favorite parks. We've been there many times. And then that night we hit. So that morning we hit Badlands, or maybe close to midday, and then we wound up in Cody, Wyoming. Cody, Wyoming. That night we stayed there 2 nights. The parks we stayed. Excuse me. We stayed there 2 nights so we could have a full day in Yellowstone. The next day, Cody's about an hour from the east side of Yellowstone. We spent the whole day. We focused more on the east side of the park, which is from Yellowstone Lake. We hit the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, and then Lamar Valley. Lamar Valley was full of bison. More bison than normal, which Lamar Valley usually has a lot. It was cool. Where's the next spot? Next spot was Washington. We drove from Cody, Wyoming to northern Washington. Through Washington, we made it to almost as far north as you can go. We drove through the North Cascades. In fact, when we were driving through it, we were picking up this stations from Canada. Speaking of radio stations, take in mind, if you entertain yourself with music on long drives, there are times where you'll have no radio, and times where you have no um, cell phone reception, so you can't even listen to music on your cell. So take that in mind. North Cascades is beautiful. It's the second time we've been through. Then, like I said, we stopped off near Seattle, I think 20 miles from Seattle. From there, we did Mount Rainier. In my opinion, we've seen a lot of mountains through our years. In my opinion, it's the prettiest mountain I've ever seen in my life. After Rainier, we stopped off about Olympia, just outside of the town Olympia, the city Olympia. It's the capital, I believe, capital of Washington. Olympic National Park was our next park. We decided Pacific Coast. We've only dipped our feet in the Pacific Ocean a few times in our lives. We chose Ruby Beach, which is about as far north as you can go in the continental U.S. Ruby is spectacular. The thing is, it's about 2 hours north of Olympia, which means it's 2 hours up, 2 hours down. And then from there, where the heck did we go? I gotta think about this. Oh, we went all the way to Northern Cal. That was a long day. All the way through Washington, all the way through Oregon, and in Northern Cal. It was late that night. We drove through the Redwood National Forest / Park. The kids, we woke up that next morning. The kids only didn't want to go all the way through the Redwood National Forest, so we just went up. I think Eureka. We stopped on Eureka, California. We went up about 45 minutes north, hit some of the national forest so the kids could say they were there, and then stopped off, I think, Clam Beach. Clam Beach was so cool. We found so many shells and this cool starfish. We didn't want to leave there. That was fun. From there, we went out. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. I'm going to press pause. Okay, I remember. Sorry. So, kind of northwest part of California. Northeast part of California. Sorry. I think I might have said east and west a few times wrong, but you get my point. I'm really tired. So northeast part of California, Lassen Volcanic National Park. That was surprisingly much better than I thought. I think you go over to 8,000 feet elevation gain. You actually go right up to the mountain. The mountain, I think, is just over 10,000 feet. I think it's closer to 10,005. So if you had time, you could hike up to the top of the mountain, which is cool. We didn't have time. But out in the east side of the United States, you don't have the opportunity to say that you've climbed a 10,000 foot mountain. That was cool. And then from there, Fresno? We drove to Fresno. Stayed in Fresno for a few days. It was center to the Pinnacles was the west of us. And then Yosemite, Sequoia, and Kings Canyon was east of us. At that point, we were so tired. If you do a big trip like this, or if you've done a big trip to this, like this, you can understand. We started chipping the parks away. Our goal was 13. We did 11. We just were so tired. We'd rather rest. The next day was a down day. The plan was to not do anything, but then Lori, midday, said, I want to dip my feet in the Pacific Ocean one more time. So 2 of the kids stayed at the hotel. The 2 youngest went with us. We went to Pinnacles. Pinnacles, I didn't research much. It's more of a hiking park. Didn't know till we got there. So we drove in, and the road stopped. We were on the, I think the west side. I think there's 2 entrances. I might be wrong. I think we were on the western entrance. The road ended. I checked out the, there's a hike you can do. Go to the top. I checked it out to see if it was appropriate for our youngest 2. It's pretty rugged. So I did it alone. The kids, while I was doing that, were taking garbage out of the car. Garbage adds up fast when you do a trip like this. With four kids, the kids are taking garbage out of the car and tossing it with Lori. That trail was fun, but as I said before, I thought it was a little too rugged for the kids. And then from there, about an hour further, was the Pacific Ocean. I can't remember what bay we're on, but we got to see the sunset. That was memorable. I'm so glad Lori decided to do that. Next day was the big day, Yosemite. When we did Yosemite, when our 14-year-old was a baby, we didn't know what we were doing. It was our first big national park trip. So we researched it. Spent a good part of the day there. So gorgeous. I'm going to miss Yosemite. And then, what did we do the next day? Is it leaving day next day? Oh yeah, Yosemite was the big day. And the next day we left. We wanted to do drive through the Death Valley, but we decided to do Sequoia. I'm so glad our 14-year-old wanted to see the biggest tree, the oldest tree in the world. Not the oldest tree, the biggest tree in the world. I can't even say. I'm sorry. We're so tired. Sequoia was gorgeous with the sequoia trees. I'm so glad we did that. When we came out, we were on the fence about doing Death Valley. We decided to just get on the main highway through the Mojave Desert. It would have added like 2 to 3 hours, and from there we went to Riverton, Utah, and we got there really late that night. There was a washout earlier that day. There was a pouring rain caused a mudslide. Shut down, more than shut down, it wrecked southern part of Utah, I-15. So Lori, God bless her, middle of the night, driving through these small state highways at midnight. It's kind of spooky. And we hung out in Utah for a couple of days, and then from there, our last national park was the Grand Tetons. And then from there, we came home. And that's it, 11 parks. We want to do Kings Canyon. And like I said before, we're going to do Death Valley. Kings Canyon and Sequoia are part of the same park. But once you get into Sequoia, you got to go all the way through Sequoia into Kings Canyon. It would have added, I think, at least a couple more hours. So we wouldn't made it to Riverton, Utah till like 4 a.m. It wasn't worth it. So we made 11 national parks. I think it might be the most we've ever done in a trip. So worth it. And that's it. 9,800 miles, 11 national parks. I'm so glad we did it. Okay, thanks. Bye.